Hey there, and welcome. You ever get that feeling that achieving your biggest goals is some kind of big secret, like it's reserved for a few lucky people? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that idea. We're talking about a powerful, repeatable system for actually getting what you want out of life. So let's just dive right in. I mean, it's the question we've all asked ourselves at some point, right? You see these super successful people or companies or projects, and you just think, what's their secret? Is it just raw talent? Dumb luck? Some hidden knowledge they're not telling us about? Well, turns out the answer is way simpler and honestly a lot more accessible than you'd think. And really, that is the big idea for this whole explainer. Let's just forget the word secret entirely. Instead, think systems. Success isn't some magic trick, it's a process. To be more specific, it's a loop. And you know what the best part is? It's a loop that literally anyone, and I mean anyone, including you, can learn and start using. Okay, but before we jump into the loop itself, we've got to clear something out of the way first. There's this huge obstacle, this myth about how success really happens. So we have this tendency to see success as this one big, flashy moment, the confetti falling as you cross the finish line, the big product launch, the day you get that promotion. But here's the thing, those are just the outcomes. The real work, the thing that actually creates success, is the system humming along underneath. It's not about the marathon day, it's about all the daily training runs that got you there. It's the process you can repeat, not just the one-off result. All right, so if success is a system, what does it actually look like? Well, this is it. This is the engine that's going to drive all your progress. Let's break it down. So here we go. Goals, problems, diagnosis, design, and execute. Just 5 simple, super logical steps. That's the whole framework right there. And I know it might look kind of straightforward, but trust me, the real power isn't in the steps themselves. It's in how they connect and repeat. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What do each of these steps actually mean when you're putting them into practice? Okay, step 1, goals. Look, everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. If you don't have a clear, compelling goal, you're basically just adrift at sea. A really well-defined goal becomes your compass, your North Star. It guides all your decisions and gives you something to aim for. Honestly, without this, the rest of the loop is kind of useless. And this is key. This is what makes a good goal. It's not enough to just say something vague, like, I want to be healthier. No, you got to be radically specific. Say, I'm going to the gym 3 times a week and I'm cutting out sugary drinks. Then actually visualize it. What does that outcome look like, feel like? And this last one is so important. You have to prioritize. You can't chase 10 rabbits at once, right? So pick the one thing that really truly matters to you right now and focus on that. All right, step 2, problems. And listen, this right here is a huge mindset shift for a lot of people. Problems are not a sign that you failed. Let me say that again. They are not a sign you failed. They're a sign that you're actually moving forward. They're just an inevitable and, frankly, a necessary part of the journey. Think about it. If you're not hitting any problems, you're probably not aiming high enough. This whole loop is built on the idea that you have to embrace them. So, you hit a problem. What's the first instinct? To find a quick fix, right? Slap a Band-Aid on it? But that's like taking a painkiller for a broken arm. Sure, it might make the pain go away for a little while, but it doesn't fix the bone. This step, diagnosis, is all about being a detective. You have to put on your detective hat, dig deep, and find the real root cause. And this is a perfect way to see the difference. Saying, I'm not making progress, that's a symptom, it's a feeling. The root cause, that's something specific, like I haven't actually blocked off time in my calendar to do the work. Or our sales are down, that's a symptom. A broken follow-up process with new leads, that's the root cause you can actually do something about. If you want to make lasting progress, you absolutely have to solve for the root cause. So how do you actually do that? Well, there's this great technique where you just ask why 5 times. For example, okay, why are sales down? Well, because our leads aren't converting. Okay, why aren't they converting? Because we're not following up fast enough. See? You just keep digging until you can't dig any further. It forces you to be brutally honest with yourself and to separate the feeling from the fact. All right, so once you've diagnosed that root cause, now you get to be an architect. Step 4 is design. This isn't about just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. No, this is about thoughtfully designing a plan, almost like building a little machine that is built for one specific purpose, to solve the exact problem you just identified. So what does a great plan look like? It breaks the whole solution down into specific, manageable tasks. I love this idea of thinking of it like a machine. If you put this effort in, that's your input, you should get that specific result out. That's your output. And please, please write it down. I'll say it again. An unwritten plan is just a wish. The moment you write it down, it becomes real. It creates accountability. And now for the final step. Step 5, execute. You can have the most brilliant goals, the most insightful diagnoses, the most elegant designs in the world, but they are completely worthless without this step. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the work actually gets done. It takes discipline, it takes grit, and it takes the will to just push through even when it gets tough. This is the moment your plan becomes reality. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the 5 steps. But the real magic, the secret sauce, if you will, happens when you realize this isn't just some checklist you work through once. Let's look at how all these pieces connect to form this incredibly powerful, continuous cycle. Think about it. A checklist is, well, it's linear. You do the things, you check them off, and you're done. This is totally different. It's a loop. It's a cycle. It's something you are meant to repeat over and over and over. It's a machine for continuous improvement, not a one-and-done task. And here's the why behind the loop. Once you actually execute your plan, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either you achieve your goal, awesome, which of course just leads you to set a new, bigger, more ambitious goal. Or your plan uncovers a brand new problem you didn't even know you had. But either way, boom, you're right back at step 1, ready to go through the loop again, only this time you're a little bit smarter. And this is the ultimate payoff. Seriously. The first time you go through this loop, yeah, it might feel a little clunky, maybe a bit slow, but with every single repetition, you start building momentum. You get better at setting goals. You get way faster at diagnosing problems. You become more and more effective at executing your plans. You're not just achieving things anymore. You are mastering the actual process of achievement. That's a total game changer. So there you have it, the 5-step loop. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's right there for anyone who's willing to use it. The only thing left now is to actually put it to work. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When you look at your life, your career, your biggest ambitions, what's the first goal you're going to start with?